serious distance between itself and the competition. Guts, glory, Ram. Based on standard pickup class, EPA estimated 29 mpg highway based on available EcoDiesel V6 4x2. Actual results may vary. Ram is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
The starting lineup sponsored by Route 4 Paramus Hyundai. Always let's go for Hyundai.com. Arizona's won 4 out of 5. They go with Gene Segura at second base leading off. Michael Bourne in center, the slugging first baseman Paul Goldschmidt after that. Jake Lamb is at third, Chris Owings at short. Brandon Drury in left. Socrates Brito is in right. Tuffy Goswitch is the catcher, batting eighth. Braden Shipley stops the run of awesome names by pitching and batting ninth for Arizona today. Alejandro De Aza leads off for the Mets in center. Neil Walker, hottest hitter in the National League, at second base. Jay Bruce in right. James Loney at first. Kelly Johnson had the big home run to tie it up late yesterday and force extra innings. He's at third base batting fifth. Michael Conforto's in left. Rene Rivera doing the catching today. Matt Reynolds at short. Noah Syndergaard on the mound completing his warm-up throws right now. He'll bat ninth on humidity that will just curdle your clothing today. I got to tell you, Howie, I mean, when the Arizona writers said, boy, is it hot, that throws you for a loop. I mean, they're coming here from Phoenix, and they're saying, boy, is it hot.
Yeah, I don't know. I never really believed in that dry heat stuff being somewhat more comfortable than, what we have today, because 110, right, is 110.
That's what you'd think.
And it's not 110 here today. It's 93. But, yeah, it will be a test for Noah Syndergaard. And for Terry Collins, too, depending upon how this game evolves, Josh, because his bullpen's been put through the ringer a little bit recently, particularly Familia last night and Robles the night before.
Yeah, they need a solid 7 out of Syndergaard, something he's given them only once in his last 8 starts, believe it or not. Mets fans, whether you're on your way to the ballpark or just driving around listening with your air conditioning on, don't text, don't call, just drive. A reminder from the New Jersey Motor Vehicle Commission. Put your phone to bed. Visit justdrive.com. Syndergaard is ready to go. And again, through the recent struggles, he's still got a top 10 big league ERA right now. That's the very good news. Segura stands in to lead it off, and here for the play-by-play, here's Howie.
All right, Josh, thank you very much. Gene Segura, right-hand batter. Syndergaard into the windup. The first pitch of the afternoon, a fastball swung on and missed, 0-1. So Syndergaard starting right out with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, outdoing the temperature. Segura batting .311 with 10 homers and 44 runs batted in. Right-hand batter with good speed. And the 0-1 line foul into the seats downstairs behind first, 0-2. That first pitch brought to you by Empire City Casino. Play electronic blackjack and 3-card poker. 15 miles from Citi Field. Your luck starts here, Mets fans. Empire City, game on. 0-2 to Segura. And Syndergaard delivers. Swing and a foul back to the screen. What a jam job there by Syndergaard at 99 miles an hour right in on the hands of Segura, who's hit in 4 straight. He had a 3-hit game last night with a stolen base and a base running mistake when he overran third while there was a rundown on the other side of the infield. The 0-2 pitch swung on and missed strike 3, and he got him with a breaking ball. So a good sign for Syndergaard early in that he is able to finish a hitter relatively soon. 4 pitches to strike out Segura. 1 man away, and Michael Bourne coming up. Well, look at the Mets defensively. They have Loney at first, Walker at second, Reynolds at short, and Johnson at third. Conforto, De Aza, Bruce left to right in the outfield. Bourne hitting .246. And the first pitch to him, a fastball high and outside, ball 1. The battery from Batteries Plus Bulbs. Trust the Plus. Visit batteriesplus.com to find a location near you. Syndergaard pitching, Rene Rivera catching. Those two have been joined at the hip recently for the most part. The 1-0, a fastball outside, ball 2. And, of course, a lot of that has to do with the fact that Rivera is just better equipped to at least try to control the running game against Syndergaard, who famously does not hold runners on at all. But the Diamondbacks have run rampant in this series. The 2-0, fastball on the outside corner at 99. It's 2-1. Arizona stole 4 bases last night and 5 the night before. So 9 in 2 games against Travis d'Arnaud. Travis slumping at the plate as well. This is a much-needed day off for him today. 2-1 pitch. Swinging a liner to right center field. That's a base hit for Bourne. Didn't hit it all that hard. Sounded like he might have broken his bat. but Bourne will hold on at first with a 1-out single, and right away the Diamondbacks have an opportunity to test that running game specifically against Syndergaard. Paul Goldschmidt will be the batter in the umpire's lineup, brought to you by Lincoln Technical Institute, always offering you the best lineup of career training choices. Get started today at lincolntech.edu. The veteran Bill Welke is behind the plate with DJ Rayburn at first, Vic Carapazza at second, crew chief John Hirschbeck at third. So let's see if Bourne is especially frisky early on, and if Syndergaard immediately throws over. He sets, holds the set, and immediately a throw to first, which was quite predictable. Michael Bourne has 10 stolen bases. He has only been caught 3 times. No longer in his prime. He's a 33-year-old, but this guy has stolen as many as 61 bases in a season with the Astros. Syndergaard ready. Goldschmidt, a terrific hitter. And the first pitch. Swing and a liner foul into the seats on the second deck behind first base, and the count 0-1. Michael Bourne signed a free agent contract after the 2012 season with the Cleveland Indians. His best years after coming up with the Phillies were with the Astros. Stole those 61 bases in 2009, 52 more the year after that. Not nearly as big a part of his repertoire now, but a good lead for him at first. Not running, they pitch out, and a throw into first by Rivera is not in time. Bourne back standing. And that is one of the very, very few times I have seen the Mets pitch out, even when Syndergaard has been having these problems holding runners. So they give the ball away. It's 1-1 now to Paul Goldschmidt, but that's okay. You've got to put that into the base runner's mind that you might pitch out. It's not just the Mets, Josh. I mean, we hardly see pitch outs anywhere anymore. 1-1 to Goldschmidt, and a throw over. Bourne back standing.
Well, you'd think, as you kind of hinted at, this particular confluence, Syndergaard, who's given up the most stolen bases by 15 in the majors. His teammate Steven Matz is trailing him. The fact that Bourne loves to run, you've got to do something to let the Diamondbacks know it's not going to be easy pickings.
Well, Bourne not intimidated. Good lead. 1-1 to Goldschmidt. Now the pitch. And it missed outside. A fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike. A 98-mile-an-hour fastball. And so for Syndergaard, there's always a balancing act here. He knows he's got to pay better attention, be quicker to the plate when you've got speedy runners aboard. But sometimes you spend too much time on that, you lose a little bit of focus on the hitter, and maybe with that, your command. 2-1 the count. Syndergaard to the belt. Bourne not running. And the pitch swung out and missed. A sinking fastball at 98, and it's 2-2. Syndergaard working efficiently here against Goldschmidt while trying to keep Bourne close at first. Diamondbacks are 5th in the National League in stolen bases, but again, they've had 9 in the first 2 games of this series. Outfield around towards right against Goldschmidt. Syndergaard sets. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, line to right center. That's in for a hit. Trying to cut it off is Bruce. He does in front of the warning track. Bourne to third. The throw comes to second. Not handled by Reynolds. Bourne will hold on at third. And holding at second with a double is Paul Goldschmidt. So Bourne not trying to score from first on the double, as Bruce was able to cut that ball off before it got to the warning track. And although Reynolds did not handle the throw in cleanly, he did keep it close by. And the Diamondbacks now with runners at second and third and 1 out.
I remember in the first inning yesterday, Bourne and Segura developed this little Benny Hill base running shtick all of a sudden when they just couldn't figure out who was supposed to be where, and the Mets got out of a potential big spot because of poor base running. That was a lot safer that time by Bourne.
Yep. So again, first inning difficulties for Syndergaard. Second and third, 1 out. The outfield straight away for left-hand hitting Jake Lamb. And the first pitch on the way, a fastball to the knee, strike 1 called. Lamb batting .280. He's tied for 7th in the league in homers with 24. Tied for 9th in runs batted in with 72. Guy has been playing through a wrist injury recently. Went 0 for 5 last night after taking an 0 for 4 in the first game of this series. Syndergaard trying to keep that drought going. The 0-1 pitch. Inside a fastball. Backed him away from the plate. And the count, a ball and a strike. Mets are wearing their traditional home pinstripes, and the Diamondbacks in their Shawshank silver prison garb.
Shawshank Silver, that's pretty good.
It's got to be known for something. Seriously, they look like inmates. Here's the 1-1. In the dirt, nice block by Rivera. Change up from Syndergaard, but that keeps the runners put at third and second, and the count 2-1. It's nice to know that that's just not some cranky radio guys giving their opinion. We've got cranky TV guys who feel the same way, but not just our Mets crew. I think these uniforms the Diamondbacks wear are pretty much reviled universally.
Well, by anybody over the age of 25. My son loves them.
Really?
Uh-huh.
The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a pop-up left side of the infield, fighting the sun, the third baseman Johnson, ready now to make the catch behind the bag, and the runners hold. Big out as Syndergaard with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball pops up. Left-hand hitting Jake Lamb for the second out, and Chris Owings will be the batter.
Lamb has had a miserable series. He is 0 for 10 now, 6 strikeouts, has gotten the ball out of the infield once. That's their cleanup hitter. 24 homers, 74 runs batted in.
So now Chris Owings, a right-hand batter, who had a good night last night, going 3 for 5. He's batting .267, 2 homers, 23 RBIs. Second and third, 2 out top of the first. And Syndergaard's first pitch, a breaking ball and a good one, in for a called strike. Good curve by Syndergaard. He's at 18 pitches now, and all too frequently those first innings have featured 20 or more pitches for Noah. So working hard here to keep the Diamondbacks off the board early. The outfield around towards right. And the 0-1 to Owings. Breaking ball swung on and missed. Another hook, and that one a little slurvier than the first one. It faded down and away, and now it's 0-2. If he keeps throwing those breaking balls, that'll put a little heat on Rene Rivera with Bourne at third and Goldschmidt at second. Catcher needs to be able to corral those pitches in the dirt with runners 90 feet away. So Syndergaard comes to the belt. Here's the 0-2 to Owings. Breaking ball in the dirt, and Rivera does keep it in front of him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Syndergaard, seeing the quick success that he had with those first 2 breaking pitches to Owings, gave him another one. We'll see now if that pattern continues or if maybe changes the eye level and goes upstairs with that heat. Infield set back. Bourne, good speed at third. Goldschmidt, for a big man, decent speed at second. 1-2 the count. Syndergaard ready. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. A hard slider, and Syndergaard gets out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left, and in the middle of the... Well, we go to the bottom of the first inning. Noah Syndergaard, another 20-plus pitch inning, 21 to get out of the top of the first. But the Diamondbacks did leave 2 in scoring position. And now the Mets will get their first look at right-hander Braden Shipley, who was the 15th overall pick 3 years ago out of the University of Nevada, Reno. He was the highest draft pick ever from that school. Shipley, a 24-year-old. He's from Medford, Oregon. And he is going to face Alejandro De Aza to lead off here in the last of the first inning. De Aza drew a walk last night, which was clutch in the 9th inning because he scored on Kelly Johnson's game-tying homer. And the first pitch by Shipley is in the dirt. A changeup for ball 1. Actually skipped off the catcher-go switch and went to the backstop. So De Aza, fighting through a sore hand after being hit by a pitch by Francisco Rodriguez in Detroit last weekend. Back on the interstate now, batting .199. 3 homers, 9 runs batted in. And the 1-0 from Shipley is taken on the outside corner. Of changeup again, and it's 1-1. He is said to have a terrific changeup to go along with a pretty good spiking curveball. And when he's right, his sinker will produce a lot of ground balls. The 1-1. There's a ground ball to the left of shortstop, fielded by Owings, throws to first, and just does get De Aza by a step, 1 man away. That looked, though, like it might have been more of a changeup because De Aza appeared to be just out in front of it. So 1 up, 1 down. And Neil Walker coming up as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth Proudly presented by Bigelow Tea, an American classic for over 70 years. We are very thankful for Cindy Bigelow and her family this morning with a quick turnaround. I had a lot of quality time today with the Earl of Grey. Here is Neil Walker, switch hitter batting left, takes low, ball one. Not to be confused with the Earl of Baltimore, the late great manager Earl Weaver. Walker on an 8-game hitting streak. He has been maybe the toughest out in the National League for a couple of weeks now. Batting left-handed, the 1-0, change up low. It is 2-0. Walker batting .274 on the year with 20 homers and 51 RBIs. In his last 14 games, he has hit a stupefying .483 with 4 homers and 11 runs batted in. Now the 2-0, and that's fouled straight back out of play, 2-1. Walker went 2 for 5 in last night's game. Jay Bruce waiting on deck. The lefties, and this is a little confounding when you think of how that changeup is supposed to be a plus pitch for Shipley. That's a great weapon against lefties, but the left-handers have hit him very well. 2-1 on the way. Inside with a changeup, 3-1. Lefties have hit .303 against Shipley, and the righties just .219, but it's a very small sample. He's only pitched 17 2/3 innings as he begins his major league career. But those early trends confuse you a bit. 3-1 pitch. There's a fastball line to left center. Base hit. Neil Walker with a 9-game hitting streak. Bourne over to pick it up and throw it in. And Neil Walker just keeps on raking. A 1-out single. That'll bring up Jay Bruce.
29 for 59 is some pretty good raking.
It's the first Mets hit of the game, brought to you by Smithtown Nissan. Before you buy a new Nissan, see Craig Fina first. And now Jay Bruce. There's in a couple of home runs here with the Mets. One in Yankee Stadium, one in Detroit. Both significant home runs. But he still hasn't gotten totally on track. Only 6 for 32 since joining the Mets. Average for the year at .259. Left-hand batter. First pitch, fastball is low. Ball one. Chip Hale, the manager of the Diamondbacks, is overshifting the infield against Bruce, who's tied for third in the league in homers with 27 and second in RBIs with 84. Trailing Nolan Arenado of the Rockies in both categories. The 1-0. Curve, and that drops in for a called strike. 1-1. Good pitch by Shipley.
And those Rockies are dropping too, Howie. They keep losing to the Texas Rangers, keep losing leads late, and all of a sudden they are fading from that wild card mosh pit, as you've put it.
They hung in longer than most of us anticipated, particularly after the season-ending injury to Trevor Story, which happened against the Mets. 1-1 to Bruce. The pitch. Fastball pulled to first. A line drive that's caught by Goldschmidt, and he steps on first to double up Walker. Side retired. Isn't that how it's gone lately? Bruce hit it right on the screws, but right at Goldschmidt, and there was nothing Walker could do. No runs, a hit, nobody left at the end of one. Though against Noah Syndergaard. Righty against righty. The first pitch is a fastball of the knees on the outside corner. Beautiful pitch for strike one. A 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Drury hitting .258 with 10 homers, 28 runs batted in. And Syndergaard delivers 0-1. A curve hit hard towards third. Picked by Kelly Johnson behind the bag. Long throw across in time. One away. Nicely done by Kelly. And Socrates Brito, the deep-thinking right fielder, will be the batter for the Diamondbacks. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by RE/MAX. RE/MAX agents trained to help find the perfect fit wherever you go, locally or globally. Go to RE/MAX.com to find an agent for the things that move you. Each office independently owned and operated. Brito hitting a .186, 2 homers, 4 runs batted in. Up for the third time with the D-backs. Left-hand batter takes fastball of the knees for a called strike, 0-1. For Syndergaard, it was a 21-pitch first inning. That's pretty consistent with how he's gone recently. The 0-1 fastball fouled back over the screen, 0-2. And although for Noah, it's been a bit of a struggle since approximately the All-Star break, Terry Collins, while he'd prefer the Thor of the first half, is not terribly unhappy with the way Syndergaard has pitched. The 0-2, a breaking ball hit back to the mound, waiting on it, Syndergaard. He's got it. Overhands to first in time, 2 men away. Because Terry is of the belief that it's inevitable when you're in Syndergaard's position and that of Matt's, and certainly those two more than the other young pitchers the Mets have right now. They're still being pushed harder this year than they've been to this point in their professional careers. And with a major league schedule just totally unforgiving, you have got to be able to fight through it. And so, yeah, there's some predictable arm fatigue, but they need to be pushed to learn how to get past it. Duffy Go-Switch, right-hand batter, takes a fastball outside for ball 1, and that's why Matz was allowed to throw 120 pitches the other night.
And it's such a tough combination, such a tough line to walk, to develop and win at the same time.
The 1-0 on the way. Fastball high, 2-0.
Well, you want these guys learning, but you don't want it to be at the expense of an actual victory that you need in the throes of a wild card chase. Very, very difficult to figure out where that line is.
Syndergaard in particular has shown bulldog ability over this second part of the year. 2-0 fastball jam job, pop foul straight back over our heads and out of play. And the count 2-1. Scoreboard update, such as it is, sponsored by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on 2016 models. San Diego at Pittsburgh will get started any second now. St. Louis at the Cubs tonight. Miami off. Notable in the wild card chase. The 2-1 fastball drilled towards left center, hustling over De Aza, makes the running catch, side retired. So Syndergaard rebounds nicely. Tony will lead off the last of the second, left-hand batter, as he faces the rookie Braden Shipley. And the right-hander into the windup. The first pitch to Loney is taken low, ball 1. And boy, what a contrast. As miserable as the Diamondbacks look in those goofy uniforms, James Loney has the absolute perfect outfit going today. The 1-0 to him, swinging a hard ground ball foul down the first baseline, 1-1. Not only is he wearing those beautiful traditional pinstripes with the blue lettering and numbers and the orange trim, but he has really gone old school, and he's got the stirrups and the sandies going, and he looks like a ball player. The 1-1, swinging a high fly ball to left field. Drury waiting on it, makes the one-hand catch, 1 away. Now this is the home half of the second inning, sponsored by the Sloman Shield. Don't become another victim. Protect your home and family with a Sloman Shield. Don't wait. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME to find out about Sloman's special offers. And Kelly Johnson, the batter. Kelly with a long 2-run pinch hit homer last night into the Coca-Cola corner, the upper deck in right field, and way back up there, too. First pitch to the left-hand batter, low, ball 1. Was his third pinch hit home run of the year just since joining the Mets. And it was measured at 431 feet. That's also our Met Food steal of the deal, second inning. Our contestant is Luis Nieves from Ridgewood. Tell you what's on the line for Luis after this 1-0 that's on the way to Johnson. Taken for a called strike, a changeup, 1-1. If a Met runner steals a base here in the second, Luis will win a shopping spree at Met Foods and be entered to win an ultimate baseball experience. If you'd like to be a contestant, go to your local Met Foods to find out more. The 1-1 curve down and in. And it's 2-1 to Kelly, who's batting .245 on the year, 7 homers, 21 RBIs, .283 and 99 at bats with the Mets, for whom he's hit 6 of those 7 homers. 2-1 pitch, lifted in the air, foul down the third base line, out of play. And the count 2-2. What a fun sight. You look upstairs on the promenade level, the upper deck, and you see sections of kids wearing the same colored t-shirts signifying their particular camps. 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed. Strike 3, got him with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. First strikeout for Shipley, 2 away, and Michael Conforto coming up. Just looking on the third base side, you've got kind of a mustard colored group sitting next to a bright yellow colored bunch of t-shirts. In front of them are those in deep red, and one section over you've got bright Mets blue, and then out in left center you've got Cespedes compression yellow, I guess be the best way to put it. Conforto, left-hand batter, fouls one back just to the left of the screen downstairs, 0-1. Seriously, there's a group in the upper deck in left center field that look like a bunch of highlighters. And Deep Orange sitting in the second deck right below them. What a great look. The 0-1 on the inside corner to Conforto, a fastball, 0-2. Michael hitting .221 with 11 homers and 33 RBIs. Mets and Diamondbacks scoreless, 2 out, nobody on last of the second. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Fastball inside, 1-2. Hey, here's a double play you'll really love. Lower your power bill and add value to your home with solar from Sun Nation, a Sun Power Elite dealer. Visit solarisitshouldbe.com. 1-2 to Conforto. Now the pitch. Curve. And it's in there. Strike 3 called. Side retired. Good looking hook there from Shipley, who picks up his second strikeout. And the Mets go in order. And at the end of he throws his first pitch of the third inning.
Now.
But that's going to be to Braden Shipley, the Arizona pitcher, Josh.
Yeah, this one should go rather swiftly. The opposing pitcher stepping in, though he does have 1 hit and 7 big league at-bats. No score. The Mets are still quite challenged offensively these days. The pitch from Syndergaard low to Shipley, 1-0. Shipley's got the cool Tyler Clippard-style goggles that he wears when he pitches, but not when he actually bats.
Sure those aren't just hipster doofus glasses?
No, those are the ones you wear.
I can relate.
Yeah. You got the cool Brooklyn frames going.
Mm-hmm.
Loved your work on Two Broke Girls. Here's the 1-0 from Syndergaard. That's high, 2-0. We're coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth. Proudly presented by Bigelow Tea, an American classic for over 70 years. And as Howie has mentioned, that's a fine product. A needed product today. Quick turnaround.
Giddy up.
2-0 from Syndergaard. That is on the outside corner, 2-1. Crowd still coming in. A little bit late arriving crowd. Of course, the 12:10 first pitch today, a little earlier than usual to accommodate the camp kids. 2-1 delivery. Swinging, it's fouled straight back, 2-2.
BYOB, by the way. Bring your own bug juice.
Yeah, bug juice was, I guess, among the things to look forward to during day camp.
You bet. I'm a veteran of that. I was a day camp counselor for 6 years, don't you know?
2-2 pitch from Syndergaard. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. The old Welke says so, and Syndergaard gets his third strikeout. Do you guys have the tote bags that you'd put all the stuff in? You know, your towel that you needed for swimming?
Absolutely.
And your off-bug spray?
At North Shore Day Camp in Bayside, Queens, which no longer exists. And I'm not necessarily saying I had something to do with that, but let's just say I was a player's manager.
Gene Segura, who is an Arizona second baseman, taking at the knees, strike 1. No score in the third. I went to Camp Sisal back in the day, outside of Rochester in the Finger Lakes.
Sounds like disinfectant.
I've got that Camp Sisal spirit. Deep in my heart, I got it. Can't believe I remember that. 0-1 pitch is up and outside, 1-1.
I had 2 rules as a counselor.
Yeah.
Be on time.
Uh-oh. and
don't let me see it.
I thought you were Jeff Fisher on Hard Knocks for a second.
No
visitors in the room. The 1-1 pitch taken. Fastball in too tight. 98 miles an hour, 2-1. Syndergaard, as you look what's behind him right now, Johnson at third, Reynolds at short, Walker at second, Loney at first. Outfield, Conforto, De Aza, Bruce left to right. Got a thought on that in just a moment. 2-1 pitch from Syndergaard. Wave and a miss. Good slider, 2-2. So it was supposed to be Cespedes, Lagares, Granderson. Now Granderson's here. He's just not playing today. David Wright at third, Cabrera at short, Walker at second, Duda at first, Darno catching. One of those 8 is in the lineup today. 2-2 got him swinging. Another slider. And that's 4 strikeouts for Syndergaard already. 2 down. So, I mean, to put it, I guess, musically, Howie, and back to your days in camp, are the Beatles if it's George, Ringo, and a couple of guys from a house band?
No.
And that's kind of where the Mets are right now. This is not the actual Mets team they were looking to roll out there with. Now, to their credit, these substitute musicians that have had to come in, they know how to carry a tune. But this is absolutely not what the Mets were hoping to put out there. The pitch to Michael Bourne is outside, 1-0. And to Terry Collins' credit, this team obviously is still fighting. They're still quite in it, 2.5 games out in the wild card. Be nice if Washington slowed down a little bit. Here's the 1-0. Fastball, strike on the outside, 1-1. The Nationals are 67-46. Got the top 2 hitters in the league, as a matter of fact. Murphy and Ramos. 1-1 pitch. Wave and a miss at the fastball, 1-2. They've also got Mr. Worth with an on-base streak of 40 games in a row, mitigating a miserable season from Bryce Harper, all things considered. Syndergaard trying to strike out the side. He's 1-2 here on Bourne. Kicking the pitch. It's flared foul. Had to play third base seats, and we'll do it again. On your mark, get set, save. Get to Nissan's bottom line summer event to win big with model year-end offers on the award-winning lineup. Shop your local Nissan store and choose Nissan.com. Bourne already with a hit today. Here's the pitch. Swing, and he's got another one. A loop shot and a right, a base hit feathering down over Walker and scooped up by Bruce. So Michael Bourne is 2 for 2, and I guess it's gentlemen, start your engines again here with Bourne at first. And the thought that he may be on the run at some point. 9 steals for the Diamondbacks in the first 2 games of this series. That's the first time they've done something like that in 7 years. The Mets have only 27 stolen bases all year. The Diamondbacks have a third of that total in 2 days. So Goldschmidt, who had a couple of runs batted in last night, those in regulation. Syndergaard to the belt. Holds and now fires. A big swing and a miss by Goldschmidt. 0-1. 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Goldschmidt is number 3 in the National League in on-base percentage. And it's funny to think that this could be considered a down year. I mean, the guy's hitting .298. 18 homers, 74 runs batted in, but he is off a tick from where he was a year ago, as the Diamondbacks are as a team. No score for now. Syndergaard holds that set and now deals. Swing and a miss again. It's 0-2. Arizona a couple of years ago was 64-98. They got better last year. They were supposed to get even better this year because they went out and got Shelby Miller and Zach Greinke, but it just has not happened. They're close to 20 games under 500. Time requested by Goldschmidt, who was certainly looked at as part of the solution here. Don't think they're going to end up as bad as 64-98 again. On 0-2, here it comes. It's high, 1-2. They were very self-deprecating, if nothing else, after that 2014 season at the team's off-season banquet. They began with a highlight video, as they always do. It lasted 15 seconds. It showed the final pitch of what was the 64-98 season. And then the MCs got up and said, well, let's eat.
That's about all we got. You know what? That's great. That's creative, and it's gutsy.
It's refreshingly honest, actually, too. Tossed to first. I mean, they could have shown. Remember that time that Goldschmidt doubled? But instead, they said, look, it was a terrible season. We got to get better, and we will. And they did last year. Chip Hale came in. Tony La Russa came in. The old front office and coaching staff was phased out. Dave Stewart, obviously, the GM, some big names. 1 on, 2 out. Loney holding on Bourne. Not going. The pitch is clubbed in the air towards left center field. Diaz is streaking over, won't get it. He plays it on a hop. Bourne goes to third, and Goldschmidt, who turned around a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, is now 2 for 2, standing at first base. That's an impressive hitter right there. 8th-round pick out of Texas State University.
Well, Syndergaard's got most of the Arizona lineup figured out. He's gotten everybody except Bourne and Goldschmidt, each of whom are 2 for 2.
Goldschmidt, a guy with a fascinating background. His family's from Germany. His great-grandmother, an heiress to a German printing company, but they all fled Germany for very good reasons in 1918. So Long Printing Company, hello New England, and eventually Delaware, and then Dallas, where Goldschmidt grew up. One of those David Wright face of the franchise types. Just a very gentlemanly guy. with a lot of talent. Jake Lamb comes up now. Lamb's a critical piece of their puzzle, too, especially since so many of their other position players are right-handed. Lefty with a lot of pop. He's been struggling of late, and he tips one foul back to the net with 2 on base, 0-1. Lamb, a Seattle native, went on to star locally at the University of Washington, which also produced former Met first baseman Tony Clark, among others. Lamb is second in the National League in slugging percentage, and while he's a good player, I don't think anybody saw that particular stat coming. Slightly open stance, holds the bat low, the pitch, a rip and a miss, 99 blown right by him, 0-2. So with Diamondbacks at first and third, and the outfield tilted a little bit to left against a left-hand batter, let's see if Lamb can finally come through for Arizona in this series. 0 for 10, 6 strikeouts. Rivera takes his sweet time, goes out there in front of the plate, and painstakingly goes through the signs for the infielders here.
Yeah, he was looking into the dugout probably for instructions on what to do should Goldschmidt take off from first. Whether to throw through, pump fake, have the infielder step in front of the bag. A lot of possibilities.
On 0-2, the pitch from Syndergaard. Swing a little looper towards third base. Kelly Johnson says he's going to take it, shielding his eyes from the sun, makes the catch, and the inning is over. That's twice Lamb has popped to Johnson. And again, Syndergaard had to work pretty hard, but he gets through it. And to the bottom of San Diego Padres starting tomorrow. It'll be a 7-10 first pitch. Logan Verrett against Paul Clemens. Pitch to Rivera, hit right back to the mound on 2 hops. And calmly, Shipley's got it, and will underhand to first. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll bring up Matt Reynolds as we invite you to take advantage of that special Jay Bruce $19 off ticket offer in select seating areas for that Padres series. That includes a Styx post-game concert Saturday, August the 13th. Go online, Mets.com/Bruce, and we hope to see you at the ballpark this weekend. Padres an interesting team. They're going young right now. And they are very spry. They stole home again yesterday. That's 4 times they've done that this year. Matt Reynolds taking low, 1-0 to the right-hand batter. 203 hitter, couple of homers, 10 runs batted in. That steal of home yesterday was on Antonio Bastardo. 1-0 pitch, hunts for the outside corner and gets there 1-1. It was actually the toss back to Bastardo. And the assumption was he would take many seconds before getting ready to actually pitch. 1-1 to Reynolds, fired inside, 2-1. And the Padres did beat the Pirates yesterday, so that was a break for the Mets. The Pirates are right there with the Mets, clumped together with Miami and St. Louis. Everybody chasing L.A. right now for that top wild card spot. 2-1 to Reynolds is low, 3-1. Matt has only walked 2 times in the big leagues. This is his 74th plate appearance.
And yet he's had a succession of pretty good deep at-bats.
Mm-hmm. He's a king of the 2-strike foul ball to hang around. Right now he's got the count well in his favor at 3-1. Pitch on the way. Swing and a rope towards short. It goes pinballing off the shortstop Owings in a shallow left center. Reynolds gunning the engine, but now thinking better of it. Comes on back. Well, the grounds crew hates it if you say it's a bad hop, so let's call it a tricky hop. But it certainly spiked right up there. A high hop just off the forearm, it looked like, of Owings, who just could not make the adjustment.
And it has scored a base hit for Reynolds,
who had been 1 for his last 21 before that break that he just got. Here's Syndergaard now, and if he's looking to bunt, that's fine. But, of course, if he's looking to swing, well, against an NL West opponent this year, he's done that very well. He had the 2-homer game against the Dodgers and Kenta Maeda. By the way, Clayton Kershaw, the Dodgers are now saying they're hoping that he's going to be ready to pitch soon. Toss to first and Reynolds diving back in, but that's all that they're giving up is that word hoping. Not for nothing, the Dodgers somehow have the second best record in baseball, Howie, since Kershaw last pitched. Everybody thought they would just completely fall apart, but that hasn't happened.
I'll tell you what, whatever Trevor Story might have done the rest of the way, I think the Dodgers have the Rookie of the Year in
Seager.
Seager. I mean, that kid at shortstop with his power, and he's the whole package. He's going to be a star for a long, long time.
His brother's a heck of a player, too, up there in Seattle. The Mariners right now are back in the wild card chase in the AL. Syndergaard looking to swing, and he goes through it. It's 0-1. Got a fastball, not a real fast fastball, 89. Yeah, right now, Seattle, a game and a half out in that wild card chase in the AL. The Tigers are only a game out. Houston 3.5 out. Baltimore and Boston would be your two wild card teams right now. Syndergaard shows the bunt this time on 0-1 and pulls back. He takes a curve for a strike, 0-2. No score. You're in the bottom of the third inning. Baltimore just can't win on the road. Speaking of that AL East wild card or / wild card situation, Orioles could get a wild card. They could get the AL East title. They got to figure out how to win some road games. They lost to Ross Detweiler 1-0 yesterday in Oakland. Syndergaard again, can't get the bunt down, a curveball, and he went through it for strike 3. And that's something that the Mets do work on. Yes, they really do, is they're the pitchers getting bunts down, but it's just not happening very often. 2 out, 1 on. Let's pause for station ID on the WOR Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
WOR and WAXQ-HD2, New York.
This is Lisa G. in the WOR newsroom. The man who climbed Trump Tower is now facing charges. Details after the game.
Top of the order, Alejandro De Aza giving Curtis Granderson a day off. He'll be the Met batter now with 1 on, 2 out. No score, bottom of the third. Pitch coming. And another breaking ball sweeps right in for a strike, 0-1 from the Medford, Oregon native, Brandon Shipley. One of his neighbors from about 15 miles away in the town of Grants Pass, Oregon, is in left field for Arizona today. That's Mr. Drury. That's a beautiful part of the country, just north of the California border, southern Oregon. 0-1 delivery coming now. Rifle down the right field line, but twisting foul into the crowd, 0-2 to De Aza. Memory serves, when you drive through Grants Pass, Oregon, the big sign that greets you with their city motto, which is, "It's the climate," with an exclamation point. And that, today, that sounds pretty good. It's the climate.
Memory serves. You've been to Grants Pass,
Yeah,
Oregon?
I passed through Grants Pass. Charming little town. I love me some Oregon. I don't think you've ever been.
No.
0-2 pitch. Wave and a miss. Fastball up high. Down goes De Aza. And ending our time with the Oregon Tourism Board here in the bottom of the third is this, although the wins have been tough to come by of late. His last 8 starts, he's allowed a batting average above 300. Syndergaard in with the pitch, and it's drilled deep in the air. Left center field by Owings. Back to the warning track near the wall, hitting the very top of the wall. Owings revs it up, gets to second base. A first pitch double. There was almost a first pitch home run. That hit maybe a foot under that orange stripe. About 375 feet away out there in left center towards the M&M seating at Party Deck in left center. So Owings with his third double of this series already. And it brings up Brandon Drury. And in this fourth inning, our Mets insider, Mark Carrig, is not here. We have no idea what's become of Mark Carrig. I'm sure he'll be back soon. Steve Marcus is in, though, in his absence for Newsday. Newsday, the official news and sports content partner of Mets Radio. Now Syndergaard working on Drury in a scoreless game. Pitching, and it's high. 1 ball, no strikes. Hello, Steve.
How are you?
A little warm. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
You've got a jacket on?
I'm
What?
telling you, it is freezing in the press box.
Boo frickety who?
Bet you Mel Allen never said that either.
Yeah, good point. 1-0 pitch from Syndergaard. Hit high in the air, center field. There's De Aza on the move. A little bit towards left. He makes the catch. Runner tagging, going second to third. 1 bounce throw to third base, not in time. It was hit well enough to move the runner. Drury, an 0 for 2 afternoon, but he just got Owings to third base. That's kind of a big deal with Socrates Brito coming up now. They didn't name him like Socrates Brito back in the day, did they, Steve?
No. I was just going to say, though, Josh, that I was kind of glad to see the guy tag up because players tend not to do that. once had a long discussion with one of the coaches. How come guys don't tag up?
And what was there a good answer?
Well, they're playing it by the book. They're afraid of being thrown out, so on and so forth.
Infield comes in a scoreless game. Runner at third, one out. The pitch to the lefty, Brito. He shows bunt. He pulls back, and he takes a hard strike on the inside corner.
Well, here's where Syndergaard so often has had the ability to muscle up and get a strikeout when he needs it. It's been a little more elusive for him the last half dozen starts. So this is a very important at-bat for Syndergaard in that regard.
Infield in tight to the grass. Syndergaard's 0-1. Brito swings. He slashes it foul right back to the screen. So 98 and 99 basically saying, look, I'm Noah Syndergaard, and this is what I do. I'm going to strike you out with a runner at third base here.
But not take 3 pitches to do it.
Yeah, the foul balls have been pumping up that pitch count for Noah, something fierce of late. Noah does have 4 strikeouts already today. Looking for number 5 with Brito. Here's the 0-2. Swing a little looper left field. That's trouble. That's going to dunk down for a base hit. The run scores. Brito cuts it towards second base. It actually, I think, ended up in the first round, or the first row of those stands over there. Indeed, it did. That's an automatic double, and it's a 1-0 Arizona lead. And the old 0-2, after a bunt was shown, after another strike was taken. Just a little inside-out swing, and it barely got fair. And then with all that English on the ball, yeah, looking at the replay, it took a serious dogleg right into that first row of the crowd. So the double by Owings sets it up. Double by Brito follows it up. And now Tuffy goes switch to the plate. Infield able to get back to regular depth. And the pitch on the way. Breaking ball strike on the outside corner. We're chatting with Steve Marcus of Newsday. And obviously we were talking about this, Steve. The Mets are just, from a personnel standpoint, let's face it, they're kind of a shell of what they thought they would be right now. That doesn't help as they're trying to maintain in the race here in that wild card. The outfield today, Conforto, De Aza, and Bruce. Pitch is fouled right back this way, just under us. One-hand catch, a beauty by a fan in a Jacob deGrom jersey. A right-handed, bare-handed play like it was no big deal.
That's frankly as good a grab as we've seen in the crowd all year. That ball was a laser coming back.
Yeah, he all but shrugged as he made that catch. Now he's showing it off to the whole row.
I think he's giving it to a young kid.
Oh, even better. 0-2 pitch is low, 1-2. All right, so that's our new favorite fan in 318, guy in the deGrom jersey.
That's wonderful. A little kid down there might be 4 years old, if that,
yeah.
Maybe even younger.
And Specters, we know you're listening. We still love you. They're sitting near your seats. That could have been you.
They would have ducked.
1-0 Arizona. Syndergaard looks at second, doesn't throw.
We don't even know this guy's name, but he just made the sweet play of the game, brought to you by Domino Sugar, the real way to do sweet. Visit dominosugar.com for recipes and coupons today.
And that 4-year-old kid, by the way, now has a souvenir baseball and a pizza. That's a good 2 minutes for that dude. Runner at second bouncing around. That's Brito. He's going second to third. The pitch taken outside. The throw to third is not in time. And staying on the bag with that left hand is Brito. And as Terry Collins has said, this is just something that's got to be addressed now in the future. Syndergaard is on pace to give up about 50 stolen bases this year.
In that particular case, Josh, I don't even think he had his eye on the runner.
Didn't look like it. And now the infield's got to come in again. And Tuffy goes switch, who only has 4 runs batted in this year. Just a little bloop here would make it 5. Syndergaard at the belt. Here he comes. Swinging a chopper foul wide of third. But, Steve, back to the original point. We're looking at this lineup today. No David Wright, no Lucas Duda. But obviously now no Yoenis Cespedes and no Asdrubal Cabrera. It's a lot to overcome. Those are some big names.
It really is. I mean, it's not a AAA team, but it's about the best he can put out there right now.
Syndergaard in with a 2-2 delivery. Goes which pokes it down the right field line. Heading towards the corner. Bruce will reach. He cannot get it. It's a fair ball. And looking like yet another extra base hit. Goswich, not a triples type, is heading for third, chugging there, standing up. It is 2-0 Arizona. And Tuffy Goswich, he actually just pointed at third base, looked at his third base coach, Matt Williams, and reading lips with a smile on his face, he said, "Is this third base?" That's great. Tuffy Goswich going the other way. What's not so great is it's 2-0 Arizona now.
That is the first major league triple for Tuffy Goswich, who only had 45 at-bats 3 years ago, but coming into this season, he had 302. That's 342 at-bats now. His first big league triple.
And again, Syndergaard's got to deal with a runner at third and the infield in. It's a 2-run fourth inning. And Braden Shipley, the pitcher, let's see what they ask him to do. Pitch on the way. He swings and he belts it up the middle. A base hit, and Syndergaard throws up his arms in frustration. Goswich trotting home, and it's 3-zip Diamondbacks. And that is some pretty obvious with the body language frustration there from Thor.
And I think it reflects the frustration throughout that Mets dugout right now. You know, this is a very, very delicate juncture of a season for any team that's going through what the Mets are. Because once you start getting the feeling that the wheels are coming off, you get to see who is strong enough to fight through it and who succumbs to it. And that's a challenge for Terry Collins right now, making sure that this team is able to maintain its focus, not just in this particular game.
Now Gene Segura, who's second in the league in hits, and he swats one foul off to the third base side, 0-1.
You know what I'm saying? Because the easiest thing you could do in a situation like this is to say, you know what, everything has conspired against us this year. If you're speaking as one of the players, it's just one of those seasons where it's not meant to be, but you can't think that way when you've still got nearly 50 games remaining.
Well, that's exactly right. You can acknowledge the whole things are stacked against us part. The 0-1 inside with a fastball, 1-1. But you're right, Howie. It's what you do. And Steve Marcus of Newsday, if you want to chime in too. I mean, you know, there's a lot of teams right now that are not what they'd like to be in terms of personnel. But you can't just say, "Oh well."
I don't think there's any scenario that has them being swept by the Diamondbacks.
Runner goes, great jump, 1-1 outside, and no throw. And now the throw, lob back to Syndergaard, getting away, backed up at short. And this is a team that just looks discombobulated right now. I understand Rivera not throwing to second because Shipley was off and running, and that's the pitcher, by the way, who, I mean, you understand you're not going to pay a lot of attention to him, but you pay no attention to him. He steals second so easily, Rivera doesn't throw. And then Syndergaard's not paying attention. When Rivera just throws it back to Syndergaard, it goes over his left shoulder. Not good optics, as the new phrase goes. 2-1 is in the dirt, knocked down by Rivera, 3-1.
And I think this club's at a crossroads right now, not only in this game, but in this season. It's too easy to give in and let it slip away completely, even though it feels like there's a certain inevitability about that, but that's what you've got to fight. If ever a team needed a timeout, it was right now, but this is baseball.
The Diamondbacks have stolen 11 bases in this 3-game series. The Mets have not stolen a single base in this series. 3-1 delivery, swinging a roller towards short, crossing over, going to third Shipley, and the throw across from the shortstop Reynolds in time. And the fans will kind of half-heartedly clap because there's a second out. Michael Bourne will come up. It's been an inning that started with an Owings double. And a phrase I've certainly never said before, Tuffy Goswich tripled home Socrates Brito. Many reasons that's an odd phrase, but a triple from Goswich is high up on the list. Here's Michael Bourne. He's 2 for 2 so far. And, Steve, the pitch count all of a sudden for Syndergaard is an issue again. It's up into the 70s right now in the 4th inning.
Nobody up yet.
Yeah, the pitch to Bourne is a strike, 0-1. And, again, the bullpen was taxed last night, so they really need Syndergaard to give him 6 or so today.
Yeah, the pitchers tell us after every game that they can't be concerned what's happening on offense and they can just go out and do their thing. Today it's not quite working out that way.
Syndergaard to the motion. The pitch to Bourne is dribbled foul at the first base line, 0-2. You know, the Mets, you know, if you do want to try to hit that reset button, you're going to have 2, 3, 4 in the order coming up in the bottom of the 4th. Those are big league hitters. That's Walker, Bruce, and Loney. And you're facing a rookie today, rookie pitcher. Long way to go today. 0-2, a wave and a miss, and that's the inning. Syndergaard cursing as he gets off the mound. Very frustrated with these events. It's a hot, sticky as Walker twists one foul out of play left side. That's got to be part of the frustration, too. Not only giving up the 2 stolen bases in the inning, but the runs batted in came from guys hitting 182, 150, and 140. 0-1 delivery. He is inside 1-1. There was an 0-2 base hit in the mix there. That from Brito. I'm not sure which is more frustrating, a go switch opposite field triple or an 0-2 bloop that goes for a double by Brito. 1-1, bends him back inside 2-1.
Well, that's where the frustration comes in, Josh, because I didn't think Syndergaard made a bad pitch to Brito there. He jammed him.
And, you know, as the old saw goes, when you've got a young team with nothing to lose like Arizona, they're playing nice and loose right now. 2-1 is curled into the air down the third base line, now towards left, shallow. Can anybody get there? A slide, and the left fielder Drury does get there to bail everybody out. He makes that catch, and he's looking around like, was I supposed to be on the run all the way there? Was that my ball? I mean, Drury is a guy that's been a second baseman, third baseman before. He's a little bit new to left field, but he got a late jump, and Owings was the closest man to it coming back from the infield. Ends up being out number 1. Now Jay Bruce to the plate. Jay hit the ball hard, but lined into a double play in that first inning. After Walker had had a hit. Shift is on for Bruce, who takes high. It's 1-0. If the Mets do lose this game today, they'll be 1-9 this year against Arizona and Colorado. Those were teams they feasted on a year ago. 1-0 is lined to foul back to the net, 1-1. Mets have never been swept at Citi Field by Arizona. There was a sweep in '99 in the regular season by the Diamondbacks. And of course, these teams have a brief postseason history against each other. One series. 1-1 is clubbed down the right field line towards the corner. It's barely foul. Now, Bruce thought he might have had a double there, but it doesn't quite work out. Yeah, the Mets made up for the regular season having been swept thing by the Diamondbacks. Swept at home anyway. When in that '99 division series, it was pretty much all New York. Won that one 3-1. Mets trailed game 4, you might remember. Here's a swing by Bruce, and he lofts it into shallow left center field this time. Owings back, over the shoulder, makes the catch. Nicely done that time, 2 out. Protect your gyms and medical facilities from MRSA and staph. Decide Ultra kills them in a minute or less. For a free sample of Decide Ultra Disinfectant, go to PalmeroHealth.com. That's PalmeroHealth.com. And James Loney will come to the plate now. Yeah, game 4 in front of a sold-out Shea. That was 3-2 before Roger Cedeno tied it up in the 8th inning. And then in the 10th, as I'm sure you remember, it was the backup catcher Todd Pratt.
Tank.
The home run off of Matt Manti. Just over the reach of Steve Finley, who still can't believe he didn't get that ball. The pitch to Loney is strafed into center field, but right at Bourne. He's there to make the catch, and the Mets are done in short order in the bottom of the 4th inning. Very, very humid. Goldschmidt now a .300 batter, and here's Howie to tell you about Goldschmidt against Syndergaard.
All right, thank you very much, Josh. First pitch to Goldschmidt is a fastball high for ball 1 as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth. Proudly presented by Bigelow Tea, an American classic for over 70 years. Double and a single for Goldschmidt. And the 1-0 from Syndergaard is taken right down the middle. A changeup for a called strike. And it's 1-1. So it's Goldschmidt, Lamb, and Owings for the Diamondbacks here in this 5th inning with the Mets down 3. And Syndergaard's 1-1 pitch. Fastball inside 2-1. I think the best thing that's happened at the ballpark so far this afternoon is what we witnessed an inning or so ago when we described a fan sitting in the front row of section 318 making a great one-hand catch on a foul going straight back. 2-1 to Goldschmidt, a slider taken low, 3-1. That's a great catch. I mean, the guy reached up with one hand, caught it cleanly, And as great as that was, then he walks over about 8 or 10 seats to his right. 3-1 on the way. Slider hit on the ground to short. In to get it is Reynolds, but it goes right under his glove and into left field. Goldschmidt will turn first and hold on, and that will be an error, I'm sure. Charge to Matt Reynolds. And so it goes. And
you just wonder, Howie, how much of it is guys are pressing, how much of it is a quick turnaround today, how much of it is the weather. But again, as the old saying goes, the world doesn't want to hear the labor pains, it just wants to see the baby. And the Mets right now have got to find a way to toughen up.
No, Jake Lamb will be the batter. He is 0 for 2. But anyway, I just wanted to recognize the two principals on that foul ball play, because it was a Norman Rockwell moment, frankly. First pitch to Lamb, check swing foul straight down at home plate, 0-1. The fan who caught the ball is a guy named Gerard Burt. And then he walked over and handed it to a young fan who looks from here like he's maybe 3-4 years old. His name is Johnny Seedorf, who's here with his dad, Danny, and his grandfather, Kenny. And whatever happens on a baseball field, good, bad, or otherwise, you just won't see a nicer scene like that than what we saw in Section 318. Without overstating it or meaning to it, it's a little piece of another era, really, a Norman Rockwell Americana moment. That's great. Well, here's the 0-1 from Syndergaard to Lamb, the left-hand batter on the way. Swinging a high fly ball hit to shallow left. Moving in is Conforto, and Mike makes the one-hand catch. One man out, and Chris Owings coming up. The Hebrew home at Riverdale by River Spring Health provides older adults with a full range of individualized care solutions. Call 800-56-SENIOR, 800-567-3646. And we also thank our friendly security person who works 318 right in front of our booth, the immortal Albert, for going down and getting those names for us just so we can acknowledge that special moment. So here's Owings, 1 out of 2, double and a run scored. Syndergaard delivers, and a slider taken for a called strike, 0-1. 89 miles an hour on that slider. And for what it's worth, Syndergaard still has the highest fastball, changeup, and slider velocity in baseball. He throws his average slider at 89.9. Threw him 95 in his first start, at least a couple of them. The 0-1, another slider swung on and missed. Great late bite at 89. And it's 0-2 to the Arizona shortstop. So that error by Matt Reynolds, first one the Mets have made today. They have made an error in each of the 3 games in this series, after making 2 in their win in the final game of the series in Detroit against the Tigers on Sunday. 3-0 Diamondbacks, 1 out, 1 on in the 5th. The 0-2 in the dirt, a breaking ball, and it's blocked by Rene Rivera. Syndergaard now at 83 pitches, and I'm sure he'll be pushed to an extent today with some of the wear and tear recently on the Mets bullpen. Outfield around towards right against the right-hand hitting Owings. Syndergaard comes set. 1-2 pitch. The runner goes. Pitch taken outside. Rivera's throw. The slide safe. Stolen base for Goldschmidt. And so on the story goes about running on Noah Syndergaard. That is the 3rd stolen base in this game. That's against Noah. 12 in the series for the Diamondbacks.
This is not like you're taking on Billy Hamilton and the Cincinnati Reds here. It's not like they've got one Lou Brock or Vince Coleman style guy. It's just everybody on the team is running.
So 2-2 now to Owings. Goldschmidt leading from second, bouncing around there. He's really bouncing around, and Syndergaard properly steps off. Walker, the second baseman, had gone in towards the bag, doing what he can or could to keep Goldschmidt close. But what Goldschmidt was trying to do was basically exploit whatever uptightedness there might be about Syndergaard and the frustration he's had holding runners. 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a slider, and Syndergaard has his 5th strikeout. So 2 men away, and Brandon Drury coming up. Hope to see you here at Citi Field Saturday the 13th. Mets will face the Padres at 7:10. And the rock group Styx will perform after the game. It's part of the Mets post-game concert series presented by Budweiser. Admission to the concert is included in the price of a game ticket. For tickets, visit Mets.com/concerts. 3-0 Arizona. Goldschmidt at second with 2 out. Syndergaard should be out of this inning as there was an error by Reynolds with the first man Goldschmidt batting. First pitch fastball taken outside by Drury, ball 1. And with Goldschmidt still bouncing around there off of second, Rivera the catcher, Johnson the veteran third baseman, and let's try and keep Syndergaard relaxed and focused.
Got to give Arizona some credit, Howie. I mean, this team got back to their Midtown hotel yesterday about 12:30 a.m., maybe closer to 1 a.m. by the time they bust on over there. Quick sleep, turn around, get back out of here on a very hot and humid day. And this is as frisky of a base running team as we've seen all year.
1-0 the count to Drury. As Goldschmidt continues to make Syndergaard aware of himself at second. Noah staring out there. Now the 1-0. Swing and a miss at the breaking ball, the slider, and it's 1-1. 3-8-0 for Arizona. 0-2-1 for the Mets. For all the talk about how, and I say this with quotes around it, favorable the schedule was going to be for the Mets in the near term and then certainly into September, these are the teams you've got to beat. The 1-1. Slider low outside, ball 2, and the Mets continue to have difficulties hitting. They continue to have difficulty holding runners. Diamondbacks have run rampant these 3 games against the Mets. Two and one the count. Noah to the belt, checks Goldschmidt at second. He's running. The pitch taken outside. Rivera pumps, does not throw to third, and there is another steal. Goldschmidt, his second stolen base of the inning, has stolen second and now third. So 4 stolen bases in this game, and we're only in the 5th inning. A staggering 13 in the series overall, and that time Kelly Johnson, with all of that bouncing around Goldschmidt was doing off of second. Johnson never went to cover third.
Yeah, that's why Rivera looked frustrated. Rene Rivera, I think, wanted to throw that time.
So 3-1 the count. Now the pitch. Slider low outside, and that's ball 4 to Brandon Drury. Runners at the corners for Socrates Brito, and boy, it really has come unglued in so many different ways for the Mets recently. And that's just another example, not covering third on a potential steal. And so we'll pause here for station ID on the WOR Mets Radio Network.
Len Berman and Todd Schnitt in the morning have your chance at Mets tickets.
Tomorrow at 7:30 and 8:30.
On 710 WOR.
Howie Rose, Josh Lewin with you at Citi Field. Arizona 3, the Mets nothing. Now with runners at the corners and 2 out. Left-hand hitting Socrates Brito batting for Arizona. You know, they've got to be aware of the base runner Drury at first. They could try to steal a run here and just continue to stay in Syndergaard's head if in fact that's been the case. First pitch to the left-hand batter. Swing and a pop-up outside third. Foul ground. Playable for Johnson. Edge of the grass by the dugout. Makes the catch. Side retired. So the Diamondbacks don't 4th big league start. He's only allowed 2 hits through 4 innings. Johnson struck out his first time. And the first pitch, a changeup outside, ball 1. Conforto on deck, offers protection in the lineup, just as the Corrections Officers Benevolent Association protect and patrol the toughest precincts in New York, the jails. 1-0 pitch, a curve down and in. It's 2-0. Coba, New York's boldest. So I'll see if the Mets can hit the reset button and work their way back here against young Mr. Shipley in just his 4th major league start. 2-0 pitch. Outside and high, ball 3. Missed with a changeup. Jonathan Neese is up in the bullpen for New York. Pitcher's spot is due up 5th. That might not matter, though. 3-0 on the way. Taken low, ball 4. So Kelly Johnson trying to get something started. Works out a leadoff walk, and now Michael Conforto will be the batter. When I say might not matter, Terry Collins may be of a mind to just get Syndergaard out of there the way things have transpired, with 4 stolen bases already against him and nothing going right for the Mets this afternoon, or for that matter in this series, or for the greater matter over a much longer stretch. So we'll see whether they get down to that pitcher spot or not if Noah's back out there in the 6th inning. Be an interesting choice for Terry Collins. Here's Conforto. First pitch changeup taken for a called strike. 0-1. Well, that'll be Terry's decision. Your choices matter too. Drive responsibly. A reminder from the New York City Department of Transportation and the Vision Zero Initiative. 3-0 Diamondbacks. Outfield straightaway. The 0-1 pitch, a curve that just basically slips out of his hand and rides very high. 1 ball and 1 strike.
The Mets, obviously, Howie, not built like the Diamondbacks are to run around the bases, station to station. That's how they're built right now. Conforto, built like a guy who can hit one up an alley or over the wall. That's what the Mets need, is that big, loud hit.
1-1 the count. Now the pitch. Fastball hit high in the air to straightaway center. Bourne now drifting back. Makes the catch at the edge of the warning track and plays it back in. Looked a little uncertain with his first few steps which way to go there, but finally drifted back and made the play. So 1 out. Rene Rivera coming up. Well, the Mets have gotten back to where they've lived largely on the home run ball. They have hit home runs in 10 straight games now, with 16 during that stretch. They could surely use a long ball here, trailing by 3 with a runner on. And Rivera will walk into one every now and then. He has 4 homers this season. Right-hand batter who generally swings for the downs. First pitch curve is taken high, ball 1. Scoreboard update brought to you by the New York Lottery. Take a break from the expected. Play scratch-off games from the New York Lottery. David Freese, 2 RBIs. Pirates 3, Padres nothing. Top 4 in Pittsburgh. That doesn't help the Mets. The 1-0 hit hard toward short, but beyond the reach of Owings and into left field for a base hit for Rivera. Going to second and stopping there is Johnson. So Matt Reynolds will be the batter representing the potential tying run. And unless he hits into a double play, we will get down to the number 9 spot. And Terry Collins just looked back to tell somebody to get a helmet on and get out there on deck to pinch hit.
Well, as frustrated as Noah Syndergaard has been for much of the day, I'm sure that'll be frustrating for him too, knowing that he's not going to be able to get past 5 innings today. He hasn't been in the 7th, Howie, except for 1 time in his last 9 starts.
Curtis Granderson popping out of the dugout, and I think whatever transpires the rest of the way in this game, and Dick Scott, the bench coach, is talking to a forlorn-looking Syndergaard in the Mets dugout. First pitch to Reynolds, a curve, and that's over for a called strike, 0-1. The unfortunate reality for Syndergaard is that the focus will remain so squarely on his problems holding runners, the stolen bases, the difficulties putting hitters away in tight spots, which seem to come so much easier to him in the first half of the year. The 0-1 in the dirt. Nice block by the catcher, Goswitch. And the count 1-1. You know, it's a narrative that you want to try and change if you're Noah Syndergaard, but unfortunately for him in particular, nothing happened this afternoon to change that. Reynolds singled his first time up. Hard hit, 1 hopper that came up on the shortstop Owings and went into left field. A 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, swung out and missed. Good curve, and it's 1-2. That hit by Reynolds, only his 2nd hit in his last 20 at-bats. Average at .214. He's got Johnson at second, Rivera at first. That's Rene Rivera with 1 out. Got to qualify your Riveras now with TJ, no relation, on the Mets bench. 1-2. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball. He went around. Could not hold the swing. Strike 3. So Reynolds unable to hold up on what initially looked like a fastball, but then turned sharply away. And a big strikeout for Shipley, his 5th of the game. Here comes Curtis Granderson as the pinch hitter for Noah Syndergaard. Granderson batting .230, 18 homers, 31 runs batted in. It has been a struggle lately for Curtis, who is 0 for his last 6, 13 out of his last 71. So he's hit 183 over his last 18 games. For the year, with men in scoring position, and he's got one here, he's hit just a .137. With 2 out, it's even worse. Left-hand batter, first pitch, taken low, 1-0. With 2 out and men in scoring position, Granderson is 2 for 37 on the year, contributing to a Mets stunningly low 2.03 average, historically low, with men in scoring position for the year. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks. Curtis tying man at the plate with 2 out in the 5th. Pitch. Change up outside off the glove of Goswitch, who scrambles to his right to pick it up. No advance by the runners, in the count 2-0. So Syndergaard will leave after 5 innings, allowing 3 runs on 8 hits. Perhaps most notably 4 stolen bases. Diamondbacks bunched those up over the last 2 innings. 2 of them by Goldschmidt in the 5th. Outfield around towards right. 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss of the changeup. Badly fooled. And the count 2-1. And we were told that that changeup was something special, and Shipley has shown nothing that would discount that scouting report. 3 infielders on the right side against Granderson. Segura, the second baseman, out into short right field. 2-1 pitch. Changeup, dribbled foul to the left of home plate. It's 2-2. Shipley just loves throwing that changeup. I couldn't tell you, in order to quantify it, just how many changeups he's thrown or what percentage of the pitches that he's thrown today have been changeups. But particularly with left-handed batters up there, they have seen a steady diet and have not figured it out. It's been that good. 2-2 to Granderson. Shipley to the belt. Now the pitch. Swing and a bouncer foul. Rolling back to the screen. Another changeup. Houston leading Minnesota 6-0 in the top of the second. They were rained out last night early after the Twins had a 5-0 lead. Got 2 innings in, and then it was sei gesund. Two to Granderson. Johnson at second. Rene Rivera at first. 2 out. 3-0 Arizona. Now the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That time a curveball to get Granderson. And the Mets come up empty in the 5th. 6th strikeout for Shipley. No runs, a hit, 2 left. And to the end of 5. Arizona 3 on the year. He is 8-6 with a 4.77 earned run average, going back to his time as a Pittsburgh Pirate. So Nice will face Tuffy Goswitch, the right-hand hitting catcher, to lead off. They didn't exactly give him the third base bag after his first big league triple his last time up. First pitch to the right-hand batter, in for a called strike, a cutter. It's 0-1. But Goswitch almost looked like he was ready to pull a Ricky Henderson. Reach down and pick the bag up and hold it aloft over his head. The 0-1 fastball on the outside corner, 0-2. Can't blame him. He had a great sense of humor about it. Josh pointed out he got to third base, pointed to the bag, and apparently said something to Matt Williams, the coach, to the effect of, "Is this where third base is?" The 0-2 pitch, a curve in the dirt, 1-2.
You have to appreciate it. It's been called, remember that Sports Illustrated story on the triple? They called it the most exciting 12 seconds in sports. That was about 17 seconds for Tuffy Goswitch. There was a guy named Mark Parent who was a catcher, spent 13 years in the majors, never had a triple, about 1,400 at bats.
1-2 pitch. Swing and a pop foul, going back into the upper deck to the right of home plate.
When you think about it, your most likely triple threats, if you will, are line drive hitters who hustle around the bases. Pete Rose was a great example. Willie Wilson. Willie Wilson played in a great triples park anyway, all those years in Kansas City.
Here's the 1-2, taken outside, a changeup 2-2. I think a lot of it does have to do with the size of the ballpark. And when you talk about a big park, back in Willie Wilson's day, they had an artificial surface in Kansas City. If you hit one, here's the 2-2 to go switch, taken high and outside, ball 3. Now, if you hit one, particularly in a big park up the alley, even if it was like a line drive towards short, that ball would just skip off that turf so quickly that if you had a rabbit running out there, that was triples territory. Payoff pitch, swing and a drive deep to left, on the way, home run, Tuffy, go switch. Well, now he can take all the time he wants going around the bases as he has hit his second home run of the year. And the first batter John Neese faces goes deep, and the Diamondbacks now lead 4-0.
Well, the other at bat for Go Switch, besides the triple, he lined it to center field. Diaza made a nice play on it. So this is quite a day. Oscar Hernandez, remember, was the catcher yesterday. He hit his first big league home run. Here's Go Switch with his second all year to go with, of all things, a triple.
Boy, what a juxtaposition of expression. First pitch to Shipley, a fastball for a called strike, 0-1. The Diamondbacks, with nothing to play for as far as a postseason race, 19 games under 500, are having a ball, whooping it up in their dugout. The 0-1 to Shipley, taken on the outside corner, 0-2. And then you take a look at the other side of the field. In fact, you look onto the field. You look at the Mets, and you look at their body language not only on the field but in the dugout, and it's the polar opposite. The 0-2 to Shipley, swung on and missed a curve. That's strike 3. One out here in the top of the 6th inning. Again, the Mets coming into play today, 2.5 behind two teams looking for that 1 second wild card spot, having been caught by the Pirates. And they're the ones who have everything to play for in terms of the possibility of postseason work. Boy, they look anything but the way the Diamondbacks do. Gleeful in the Arizona dugout. Here's Gene Segura. Can't hold the swing at a fastball away. He goes around, strike 1.
That's what we were talking about earlier. You got to beware of those teams that have little to play for. They're just trying to kind of get their stride and their swagger back.
0-1 to Segura, foul back to the screen, 0-2.
And that's why, Howie, for all the happy talk about, hey, look at the Mets' September schedule. You've got the Twins and the Phillies and, you know, the Reds and all these teams that have nothing to play for. Well, those are sometimes the teams that get you. You don't know who's coming up anyway from AAA.
The 0-2 pitch, low outside. Check out the Citi Double Cash Card, where double means double. Earn 1% cash back when you buy and 1% as you pay. Visit Citi.com/doublecash to find out more. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a chopper towards third, hugging the line. Fair ball fielded by Johnson. His throw is way too late, and Gene Segura is aboard with an infield hit. And that's the 10th hit for the Diamondbacks.
Well, you would think, Howie, at the very least, the running game might slow down a little bit now. Neese, the left-hander, able to hold runners better. But for what it's worth, in this series, Arizona 13 steals. The Baltimore Orioles have 14 for the entire season.
Yep.
And the Mets have, 27. So Arizona's got about half of the Mets total in 2.5 days here.
That's something. Here's Michael Bourne, a left-hand batter. Segura, very conservative lead at first. The first pitch taken low, ball 1. But, you know, Josh was talking about, as we did earlier in the game as well, the strength of schedule, again, with quotation marks around that phrase, and how it was supposed to be, again, in quotes, favorable for the Mets. Well, just who are the Mets right now? The 1-0 fastball taken low, 2-0. If you go back and look at the last, and we'll include this one just to make it a nice, tidy, exactly 81 games. That is precisely half a season, this being the 81st of those games. In the previous 80, the Mets are 8 games under 500. The 2-0 pitch taken low. It is 3-0 to Bourne. The Mets, when you go back to the 12th of May, including last night, have gone 36-44. So is it reasonable to even expect them to be able to run roughshod over the supposedly weaker teams? The 3-0 is low, ball 4. And so the Diamondbacks have runners at first and second, one out. And clearly there's been attrition because of injury. And Jose Reyes going to start a rehab assignment tonight. So that's one they hope to get back in a few days. They are missing so much of their core, and it has really taken a toll.
Yeah, and again, it's not to try to make excuses. It's not to try to just shrug it off. I mean, again, the Giants are a good example of this. They've been hit by injuries too, and they're right there in the race for the NL West lead right now. But, you know, it's just facts. You know, the Mets already shell of themselves right now.
That's why this is such a crucial juncture for those who are here. You can't give in to this. First pitch to Paul Goldschmidt. Off the glove of Rivera. Goes to the backstop, and both runners move up. Rivera has not caught Nice much. That cutter had a lot of movement on it. And I'd have to see a replay to look at Rivera's glove to tell whether that might have been a cross-up or not. But now with runners at second and third, I think the Mets are just going to put Goldschmidt on as Rivera goes out to talk to Nice. Saw Dick Scott in the Mets dugout. Just about every, between Terry Collins and whichever coaches are up near the top step, they are all waving 4 fingers to say, put this guy on, with a left-hand hitter, Lamb, on deck.
And a struggling left-hand hitter at that. Again, Lamb 0-for-12 in the series now. Well, this is a percentage move in many ways, but Lamb also has it in him to blow the cover off this thing. A guy with 24 home runs, 74 batted in.
Does go as a wild pitch. Charge to Jonathan Nice. So here is intentional ball 4 to Goldschmidt. And with the Mets trailing 4-0, 1 out here in the 6th inning, the bases are loaded. And Jake Lamb, who has really had a rough series, again, in fairness, he's fighting through a sore wrist. But coming into this series, it hadn't bothered him at all. He was hitting just fine. But he is 0-for-12 in the series. And he'll face Nice here, with the Mets playing the infield back up the middle. They're in double play depth there. The outfield straight away. Johnson, the third baseman, a step behind the bag. And the first pitch. In the dirt, gets behind Rivera, goes to the backstop. Segura scores. Bourne to third. Goldschmidt to second. The wheels have fallen completely off. It is 5-0 Arizona.
And again, you can point to circumstances all you want, but Arizona's got circumstances too. You know, they're playing in hot, humid weather and on a short night, and they've got injury issues. This is simply a pass ball on Rivera. And this is just not a good look today.
Well, Rene Rivera did not play last night, and it's not a fatigue thing with him. Tried to backhand it and missed. The 1-0 swung out and missed a fastball. It's 1-1.
Well, even that one, Howie, even though it was a swing and a miss and kind of down the middle of the plate, Rivera jabbing awkwardly at that one, too. He and Nice, you're right, just don't have that rhythm established yet.
This just looks like a tight ball club right now. A 1-1. Taken inside. Nice missing his spot with a fastball there. It's 2-1. Fastball was at 88 miles an hour. Sponsored by WesternUnion.com. Next time you need to send money fast, send it online with WesternUnion.com or their mobile app. Here's the 2-1 to Lamb with the infield in. A breaking ball low, ball 3. Send money online quick as a click with WesternUnion.com.
Boy, I'd hate to put Lamb on here because the guy on deck has been raking this whole series, Chris Owings.
He's going to have to fight through this. Nobody up in the pen. 3-1 the count with the infield in. Runners second and third, 1 out. 5-0 Diamondbacks in the 6th. Now Nice brings the hand together. The pitch inside, ball 4. So Nice, you know, he allowed the home run to go switch to start the inning, and here comes Dan Wathan to talk to him. He struck out the pitcher Shipley. Then an infield hit to Segura, a walk to Bourne, a wild pitch, a pass ball, intentional walk, another walk. And when you add all that up, the bases are loaded with 1 out. 5-0 Arizona. Right hand hitting Chris Owings coming up.
In the margins of the scorebook today, Howie, I think is where the real good information is. All the SBs and WPs and PBs, like you say, all those things that just are kind of the hallmarks of donating bases to teams. And then obviously you're giving up a triple to Gozwich and a homer to Gozwich. I mean, those things just, they can't happen.
So here is Owings, who has struck out, doubled and scored, and struck out again. Mets have been out hit 10-3. Nice's first pitch in the dirt, blocked by Rivera. That was a changeup, and it's 1-0. Boy, there has been no synchronization whatsoever between Jonathan Nice and Rene Rivera. And again, they've barely worked with each other, and that counts for a little something, but it does not look good. The 1-0 swing and a drive in the air to deep right center. Back goes De Aza, way back, reaches out, can't get it. Karam's off the wall. That might clear the bases. Bourne is in. Goldschmidt is in. Lamb flying for the plate. He'll score standing as the relay throw is bobbled. 3-run score. All the way to third is Owings, and it is 8-0 Arizona. And the fans are letting the Mets know what they think.
Oh, again, it's just the sheer look of it right now is just uncomfortable. De Aza did not take a good route. The ball hit the wall and skimmed right beyond him. Those are little things. I mean, just to make sure that you're getting a good read, stopping the ball from getting by. That's an extra base right there. That's a triple instead of a double because De Aza pursued it incorrectly.
So here is Drury, and he goes first ball swinging, lines one to the gap in left center. Conforto over, makes the running catch. Tagging and scoring from third is Owings. And so the Diamondbacks, with 2 out now here in the 6th, have put up a 6th spot, and it is 9-0 Arizona.
And I think the point to be made here, Howie, is just all about how the Mets now will come out and hit the reset button tomorrow. You know, I mean, this obviously was a brutal 3-game series against a lower division team.
Well, the first pitch to Socrates Brito is taken low, a curveball, ball 1.
You can use it as a point off of which to pirouette and get better. With the Padres coming in, and you've got these same Diamondbacks right again very soon.
Pitch back, taken on the inside corner, 1-1.
So if you use it as, I don't want to say motivation, that's kind of a weak, just in general kind of term, but you can't let this series define your season at all.
The 1-1, little dribbler foul to the left of home plate, 1-2. Well, I remember there are a few times, Josh, we've spoken right at the end of a game that did not go well for the Mets and said this would appear to be rock bottom. Well, nothing compares to the rock bottom they've experienced today and this week. The 1-2 has been fouled back into the lower deck behind home plate, and it's still 1-2 to Socrates Brito.
That day that Wilmer Flores had at Yankee Stadium about a week and a half ago, it's like the whole team has had that day 3 days in a row now.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Inside with a breaking ball. Brito backs away. That pitch was actually behind him. Now, if that had been a fastball, the Diamondbacks might have thought, well, really? But that was a curveball that just got away from Nice.
No, Nice just doesn't have it, unfortunately, today.
So 2-2. Now the pitch to Brito. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a fastball, side retired. But the Diamondbacks bat around. They send 9 men to the plate in the 6th inning. And John Lee that against. So to the top of the order now, Alejandro De Aza will face Braden Shipley. And the first pitch on the way, a changeup for a call, strike, 0-1. Although again, it's fair to say and to question really if the Mets really had a right to be in that position to start thinking about sweeping weaker teams when you consider their last now 81 games. The 0-1 rolled up the first base line, foul. It's quickly 0-2.
Well, if you just say New York Mets, you think of Cespedes and you think of Cabrera with Walker as a double play combination. You think of a healthy, productive Matt Harvey. I mean, those people don't live here right at this address right now.
Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball. Did he go around? He certainly did as they appealed to third. John Hirschbeck said strike 3. De Aza tagged out by the catcher Gozwich, and that's the first out here in the last of the 6th.
And I think the thing that Terry Collins will address is right now from the veterans, not the rookies. The body language is not good. De Aza right there was basically pouting, complaining. He goes back all slump-shouldered. You know, you swung at a pitch in the dirt. It happens. But, you know, you can't give off this vibe like woe is me, the sky is falling. That's got to stop.
Neil Walker, the batter, he's 1 for 2. Certainly been the brightest light in this lineup for the last few weeks. Switch hitter batting left. First pitch, fastball hit in the air to left field. Going back, Drury, still drifting. Makes the one-hand catch as he crosses onto the warning track, 2 away. In-game box score brought to you by Centenary College, New Jersey. Discover the small suburban college committed to helping you realize your dreams. Visit centenarycollege.edu. Centenary College committed to you. Whereas the Mets only have 3 hits. Michael Bourne has a couple. Paul Goldschmidt and Chris Owings and Tuffy Goswitch have a couple. Goswitch his first big league triple and a home run in this game for Arizona. So here's Jay Bruce 0 for 2. First pitch, change up for a called strike, 0-1. Many experiences in life are uplifting, like getting the status you deserve at the #1 new car volume Lexus dealership in the Eastern region. Visit LexusofRoute10.com today. Here's the 0-1. Change up is low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Bruce, who is 0 for 2. So Shipley really on cruise control now, looking for his second big league win. Only about to deliver his 70th pitch. Quite economical. 1-1 on the way. A curve is high. Ball 2.
That was 90 pitches in 5 innings for Syndergaard, and actually that was ahead of his recent curve. That's not even 20 pitches per inning. You know, Syndergaard, remember, had fought his way through into the 4th inning, keeping this 0-0.
2-1 pitch. Swinging a high fly ball, slicing down the left field line. Over comes Drury into the corner to make the running catch. Side retired. Mets go in order into the end of 6. Arizona 9, the Mets nothing. Any more thrilled than to hand that baton to a guy I expect to have it for a couple of decades, and that is Brendan Burke. So congratulations to Brendan and the Burke family as we start the 7th. Josh.
All right, Howie, thank you. Josh Edgen now pitching. The first pitch to Tuffy Goswitch slapped out of play to the right side. And indeed, congratulations and a long, illustrious career for Brendan. I'm sure that's going to be happening. Got a chance to meet him, too. Great kid. I just like that I can call someone in their 30s a kid now.
I knew we'd get to you sooner or later.
I'm hopping along Curmudgeon Trail. I'm getting there. Pitch, a strike to Goswitch on the outside from Edgen, who is going to be 30 years old this December. Coming off of Tommy John surgery and a lot of hard work to get back in shape. Here's the pitch. Goswitch, who's had a big day, takes way outside, 1-2. Halfway to the cycle, and he got the tough one and the impossible one out of the way. The home run and the triple. He had never had a triple, not in the big leagues. Only the occasional home run. He's got both of those in the bank today, part of a 9-0 lead. As again, bats against the bearded left-handed Josh Edgen. There's a swing and a roller foul down near third, 1-2. Edgen was once a 50th round pick by the Atlanta Braves back in 2009. Did not sign. Then in 2010, a 30th rounder by the Mets, and then he said okay. A lot of sliders from Edgen is what to expect. 9-0 Arizona. That was not expected today. The pitch is cued foul towards the Met dugout, first base side.
You don't want to have a pitching line like Jonathan Neese did in the 1 inning that he worked. An inning, 3 hits, 6 runs all earned, 2 walks, 1 intentionally, 2 strikeouts, a home run, and a wild pitch.
Yeah, and an interesting look in the Met bullpen currently, by the way. The 1-2 is stoked into the air foul. That'll get down the third base line and into the crowd. Jacob deGrom, who is going to pitch on Saturday, I guess this is his day to throw on the side, and maybe he is literally just throwing on the side right now because it's the afternoon. It's a 12-10 game, but maybe they're going to want him to work an inning. My guess is they're just having him throw on the side. But
I can't imagine him having work an inning in this game.
No, I really think it's just a time of game today, that noon start. The pitch, Goswitch with a chopper past the mound. Second baseman Walker pursues, little double clutch, and he throws him out. So there is 1 out here in the 7th inning, and Shipley, the pitcher, about to bat. I really think that's a function of how he, we didn't ask Terry Collins this or Dan Warthen or anybody, hey, what's the plan for deGrom to throw on the side today? But You know, the game didn't end yesterday till close to midnight. And I can't imagine everybody was here, bullpen catchers and everything, at 8 a.m. today to catch somebody at 9 a.m. So this could just be his side session.
It's interesting because normally he'd throw his bullpen on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, yeah. The pitch, a strike to Shipley at the knees, 0-1.
Well, you make a good point. I think with the work schedule today skewed by the early start, I would think along with you. He's just got a little tune-up in there.
But again, that new word of optics that's out there, the 0-1 to Shipley outside, 1-1. You just kind of rub your eyes like this is all a dream. I mean, it's 9-0 Arizona. DeGrom's in the bullpen. Tuffy Goswich has a triple. And there's a dude named Socrates running around today. 1-1 is punched up into the air. That's shallow into right. Long run in for Ty Kelly just in the ball game to play that right field position. Makes the catch. 2 down. And Gene Segura to the plate. Coming to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea, an American classic for over 70 years. Segura 1 out of 4 today. These Diamondbacks heading to Boston next. That's the Red Sox problem to deal with. Bob Brenly's son is the bullpen catcher for the Red Sox, so that'll be pretty cool for Bob to be able to hang out with his son for 3 days at Fenway. Pitches outside 1-0. Bob, of course, used to manage the Diamondbacks, and now he's a broadcaster for the Diamondbacks. He replaced Buck Showalter. 180-degree opposite turn, the man that he replaced. There's a strike to Segura on the outside, 1-1. Buck, of course, was known in Arizona for kind of a Felix Unger-like attention to detail. Bob's a little more Oscar Madison. 1-1 pitch is outside, 2-1. Buck's the one that insisted rather famously that the letter A on his players' socks for Arizona be plainly visible. Brenly, first day of spring training, said, I could care less about whether there's an A on your sock or the letter Q. The pitch is just a little low from Edgin to Segura, 3-1. Bob wasn't big on things like curfews. In fact, he told his players in spring training, hey guys, if you find anything to do after 1 a.m. in Tucson, call the coaches. We'll meet you there. Chip Hale now the manager of the Diamondbacks. 3-1 pitch, taken, and it hugs the outside corner, 3-2. My guess is, and you know Chip better than I do, Howie, but he's a little closer to that Buck Showalter paradigm than he is to the loosey-goosey Bob Brenly paradigm. Not quite as regimented as Buck. 3-2 pitch is fouled off to the right side.
You know, Chip's a guy who needed some time after any given game to just kind of calm down a bit. You know, even when we'd see him literally an hour after a game, he was still wearing that game all over. And I always wondered, if he ever did get a managing job in New York, if that would be a good blend. I thought Arizona was a perfect fit for him, for that reason at least.
Edgin's delivery, swing, and it's fouled right off the catcher's gear, staggering Ruben Rivera for a moment. Chip Hale's Diamondbacks are ahead 9-0. Mets being out hit 11-3. Edgin giving his catcher some time here, just in a chat about probably nothing at all with the home plate umpire Bill Welke. I'm not sure what the more frustrating element is today, Howie. Not that we want to really get into grading frustrations, but only 3 hits again. That's certainly frustrating. But obviously all the stolen bases allowed. 9 runs on the board. It is very simply a case of nothing's going right this series. 3-2 pitch taken. Strike 3. Ring him up on the inside corner. 1-2-3 inning for Josh Edgin. So to the bottom of the 7th inning on a swelteringly hot afternoon. Arizona 9. James Loney hitting .279. Left-hand batter taking low 1-0. Loney, Johnson, and Conforto due up for the Mets, who in this series have a grand total of 15 hits in 27 innings. Game went 12 innings yesterday. Pitch to Loney is low, and it's 2-0. Mets saw about 200 pitches in the game yesterday, and only one of them did they turn around for any kind of damage. That was a Kelly Johnson pinch hit home run. 2-0 pitch, curve, broken bat, and a foul ball. Ball ends up near third base. I would say about 90% of the bat ends up in the left hand of James Loney. The other 10% is lying in state up the first base line, and that's for the bat boy to go and retrieve. LeadsRoundLaw.com would like to remind you this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of Sterling Mets, may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of the game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Sterling Mets. Although, quite honestly, this is not the kind of game you want to retransmit. Pitches clubbed into the air towards shallow left center. On the run is Bourne, coming in a couple steps to make the catch. LeadsBrownLaw.com, employment law, civil rights, discrimination, representation you can trust. Wait till next week. We'll give you a better game to retransmit. In the meantime, check out the Citi Double Cash Card, where double means double. Earn 1% cash back when you buy, 1% as you pay. Go to Citi.com/doublecash to find out more. Actually, the hope is the Mets will turn it around this weekend with the San Diego Padres coming to town. Kelly Johnson, the batter, the lefty, hits one on the ground towards second. Third hop is gathered in by Segura and throws on to first, 2 away. Michael Conforto comes up. Padres have a young team that is still kind of taking shape right now for Andy Green, who was the bench coach here in Arizona last year. And if you're feeling a little glum because the great names of Socrates Brito and Tuffy Gozwich won't still be on the scoreboard, well, take heart. Jabari Blash and Ryan Schimpf are coming in. Here's a pitch to Conforto. It's low. It's 1-0. That's what we'll be doing tonight is our Jabari Blash homework. Sandstone Auto Mall, the Tri-State's largest, offering huge savings, 10 brands and over 4,000 vehicles, plus guaranteed financing for all. Go to sandstoneauto.com for details. There's a swing, a little roller up near first. Behind the bag is Goldschmidt, and he'll lob to first. Pitcher covering. That's the inning. The Mets are being 3-hit today by the rookie Braden Shipley. At the end of 7, Diamondbacks 9, and the Mets nothing on the W. Supposed to be a fun day at the ballpark today. The Diamondbacks have ruined it, at least so far, 9-0 with 3 in the 4th, 6 in the 6th. Josh Edgen stays on the mound. He'll face Michael Bourne, leading it off in the 8th. And here for the play-by-play, here is Howie Rose.
All right, Josh, thank you. Lefty against lefty here on the first pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike 1. T.J. Rivera has come into the game. Get a little more big league reps. He's at third base right now as Kelly Johnson gets the rest of the day off. And Edgens 0-1 is fouled back to the screen. It's 0-2 as we come to you live from the Bob Murphy broadcast booth, proudly presented by Bigelow Tea, an American classic for over 70 years. Diamondbacks are getting the bullpen up, and even though he worked quite economically, it may be that Shipley is done through 7. The 0-2 to Bourne fouled back to the screen, and the Mets did not provide too much resistance, totaling just 3 hits against him. Shipley walked 1, struck out 7. Bourne, Goldschmidt, and Lamb due up for the Arizonas here in the 8th. 0-2 pitch. Inside with a breaking ball, missing the target badly. Rivera was set up away and had to kind of lean way back in towards the hitter Bourne, and it's 1-2. Edgen sets at the letters. Now the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3, a slider. And that's the second strikeout now for Josh Edgen. 1 away, Paul Goldschmidt coming up. Injury update is brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm, fighting and winning on behalf of seriously injured clients for over 45 years. Injured? Call 800-624-8888 or visit injurylawyer.com. Another thing in mind about 88. First pitch to Goldschmidt, fastball outside, ball 1. First those injuries. Jose Reyes and Zach Wheeler both rehab assignments tonight. That's a good sign. Reyes will play third. He'll play short tomorrow. The 1-0 on the way. Fastball outside, 2-0. The other thing about 88, as you might have heard Wayne Randazzo discuss in our Mets pregame show, this was the date back in 1988 when Gary Carter hit his 300th big league homer. 2-0 pitch, a fastball outside, ball 3. But for Kidd, it was the end of a long, long drought. He had gone just about 3 months in search of that 300th career home run before he got it at Wrigley Field. 3-0 pitch is on the outside corner, a called strike, 3-1 to Goldschmidt. And you could see the relief oozing from Gary Carter over the entirety of his home run trot that afternoon at Wrigley. 3-1 pitch, way outside, ball 4. Edgin misses badly. And Goldschmidt draws a walk. First walk allowed by Edgin. It'll bring up Jake Lamb. Paid attendance today, 39,271. On a day when the camp kids were here, the bug juice was cold, but so are the Mets. It was kind of hard to be cold on a day when it's 93 at game time in terms of the temperature, and just about that with the humidity, but it certainly hasn't bothered the Diamondbacks.
Or Steve Marcus, who came in wearing a jacket.
What was that? Jake Lamb takes outside for ball 1.
Well, it gets a little chilly at Del Boca Vista.
I guess. Now, look, I can certainly relate to thinking that air conditioning gets a bit overdone, but Marcus wearing a jacket, I'm sorry, that is the worst look in the ballpark today. The 1-0 pitch taken down and in, a fastball, and suddenly it's 2-0 to Lamb.
I got hot just looking at him. That didn't come out right, but you know what I'm saying. He's wearing a jacket. It's 93 degrees out.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No.
2-0 the count. Edgin deals, and a hard hit ground to the first. Pick by Loney. Nice pick to second one. Edgin racing to get the throw at first. Not in time. So they failed to pull off a 3-6-1 double play. As Reynolds made a strong throw to first, but Edgin found himself in a foot race with Lamb and just did lose out. What a play by Loney, though, on a wicked hop.
Yeah, he continues to show everybody what a John Olerud, Keith Hernandez type first baseman used to look like around here. He's just got such dexterity and such great reflexes at first. Made a nice play to lead Edgin, too. And I'm not convinced that, I see what happened. Edgin didn't quite get to the bag. He was definitely there in time. But by maybe an inch, he didn't get that right foot to the bag.
Right. Not even close to it by the time Lamb had crossed first base.
Because he just was kind of skidding even further off of it.
So, frankly, the replay confirms it's double play that should have been turned.
Yeah.
Once Loney made the great play. Chris Owings, first ball swinging, loops one into center field, a base hit. Headed to third is Lamb. The throw from De Aza cut off by Reynolds. Owings on at first with his third hit of the game. Runners at the corners, 2 out. We'll pause here for station ID. Terry Collins going to make a pitching change, too, on the WOR Mets radio network.
Win Mets tickets twice a day from Len Berman and Todd Schnitt in the morning. Tomorrow at 7:30 and 8:30.
On 710 WOR.
Terry Collins out at home plate, going through a double switch that he's going to make as he'll bring a new pitcher into the game. Looks like Jerry Blevins will enter. Diamondbacks leading 9-0. 2 out, runners first and third here at the top of the 8th inning. And this pitch had been at second. He now goes out to play left, so Conforto out of the game. Brandon Drury, the batter, runners at the corners, 2 out. First pitch on the way, slider in the dirt, down and in, ball 1. Last night, of course, Blevins gave up what proved to be the game-winning home run to Oscar Hernandez, leading off the 12th inning. So, Jake Lamb is the runner at third. Chris Owings the runner at first with 2 out as Blevins takes over for Josh Edgin. And the 1-0 pitch. Drury takes outside, ball 2. So the Mets outfield now is Johnson in left, De Aza in center, Kelly in right. On the infield, Loney at first, Flores at second, Reynolds at short, T.J. Rivera at third. Now the 2-0 pitch. Fastball over, a called strike. It's 2-1. But it is 9-0 for Arizona, with 2 gone here in the 8th inning. Now Blevins sets. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Outside, ball 3. Blevins, the 4th pitcher the Mets have used in this game. Edgin worked an inning and 2/3. Both runners aboard, of course, his responsibility. He allowed 1 hit, a walk, struck out 2. No runs yet Here's the 3-1 pitch. Swing and a ground ball to the shortstop hole, backhanded by Reynolds. He fires to second for the force play on Owings, and that retires the side. So it does turn into a scoreless inning in 2/3 for Edgin. For the Diamondbacks in the 8th, a hit, a walk should give Gene Segura the rest of the day off. And the new pitcher who will bat in the first spot in the order is Zach Godley, a 26-year-old right-hander from Bamberg, South Carolina, the same hometown of one William Hayward Wilson, also known as Mookie. Godley went to Spartanburg Methodist College and then the University of Tennessee. Guy the Mets originally drafted out of high school back in 2009, didn't sign with them. And now Godley is facing Rene Rivera to lead off here in the home 7th. First pitch on the way is taken on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1. Rivera is hit back to the mound and singled to left. Matt Reynolds on deck and then Ty Kelly. The 0-1 pitch, inside, ball 1. Mets have searched all day for a rally moment and come up empty to this point. The rally moment of the game brought to you by Rally BMW. 1-1, the count to Godley. Now the pitch. Fastball low, 2-1. Getting behind the wheel of a BMW is easier than you might think. Come experience the Rally BMW difference today. Great outing by Braden Shipley, the Arizona starter. 2-1 pitch, swing and a pop-up foul outside first. It'll reach the seats behind the dugout. And 2-2 now on Rene Rivera. Shipley in 7 innings allowed 3 hits, no runs, walked 1, struck out 7. And he certainly did feature, as was advertised, a plus changeup today. Godley, who's been up and down a couple of times, actually in his 3rd time up with the Diamondbacks this year, pitched at AA and AAA, going a combined 4 and 6 with a 3.62 ERA. And up here, he's 3-2, 5.87. He's made 6 starts. Was originally scheduled to make this one. This is his 12th appearance. And the 2-2 on the way. Fastball lifted foul into the seats downstairs behind first. New York Mets baseball is brought to you by RE/MAX. RE/MAX agents trained to help find the perfect fit wherever you go, locally or globally. Go to RE/MAX.com to find an agent for the things that move you. Each office independently owned and operated. So here's the 2-2 pitch. In the dirt, a breaking ball, full count.
This is a guy who's got also, supposedly, Howie, a very good changeup. He's got kind of that Vulcan grip that was popular several years ago. And a wedge that ball in between your 3rd and 4th fingers. Got a big, strong fingers to be able to do that.
Here's the payoff pitch. Swinging a hard hit, grounded to third. Nice pick, waist high by Lamb. Throws across in time to get Rivera. One away. Nice play by Jake Lamb. And it'll bring up Matt Reynolds.
And no matter how great Godley pitches the rest of the year, he will not even be the best Zach G on his own team. Zach Greinke is in the same rotation. And I don't know about you, Howie. I thought for a guy that was coming off the DL, I thought he looked pretty good the other night. I mean, he wasn't at his completely most sharp, but just off the DL, you wouldn't expect that.
Looked fine to me. Matt Reynolds, a single and a strikeout in 2 trips. Takes a fastball for a called strike. 0-1.
They thought they had with Greinke and Shelby Miller the 1-2 punch in their rotation that would make them the team to beat in the National League West. That just hasn't happened.
0-1 the count. Now the pitch. Just missed inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, the Grand Poobah, the Grand High Exalted Mystic Ruler of baseball operations for the Diamondbacks is Hall of Fame manager Tony La Russa. And basically, he acknowledges 1-1 on the way. Fastball way outside, ball 2. The things did not go anywhere near as planned. So I guess, and you know, he kind of fell on his sword to an extent when he included himself in the process, that everyone's going to be under review at the end of the season. 2-1 pitch, swing and a roller back to the mound, backhanded by Godley. Underhands to first in time, 2 men away. Reynolds really didn't mean to swing there. It turned into a check swing roller. And with 2 out, nobody on, Ty Kelly will bat for the first time. But I would think in Arizona there might be some concern about the jobs of The general manager, Dave Stewart, has always been very close to La Russa, going back to their championship days in Oakland when Tony was the manager of the A's, and Stewart, one of his outstanding pitchers, and certainly Chip Hale as well. So here's Kelly, switch hitter batting left. First pitch taken for a called strike, a fastball, 0-1.
I'll tell you what, as much maligned as this Arizona bullpen was, and rightly so, coming into this series, the Mets have not done anything of note against these Arizona relievers.
The 0-1 waved at and missed. 0-2, just that pinch homer from Kelly Johnson last night off of Jake Barrett that tied the game in the ninth, and that was it.
That's one of 4 hits they've had against Arizona relievers in 3 days.
The 0-2 taken inside, 1-2. And again, this Arizona pitching staff coming into this game, a 5.04 ERA for the year. Barely ahead of the Reds at 5.05. 1-2 pitch. Swing on a liner in the air to left. Going back Drury. Settles under it. Makes the one-hand catch. Side retired. Mets go in order. 9 or at least 11 in a row. Retired by Arizona pitching now. And at the end of 8, Arizona 9. The Mets nothing on which to make some hay. But the hay has been made against them. Dominic, or at least Socrates Brito, leads off against Blevins. Breaking ball for a called strike, 0-1. The Dominic is named Leone. He is warming up, a right-hander in the Arizona bullpen.
I was going to say, there's no Greek philosopher named Dominic that I know of.
Here's the 0-1. Taken low outside, 1-1. Socrates Brito, named for the centerman on the great Greek line in the 1022 BC Olympics. Socrates between Aristotle on the left and Plato on the right. Here's the 1-1. Check swing, foul back to the screen. It's 1-2.
I'm just glad you didn't mention Aristophanes, because that would have been ridiculous.
Well, he was the defense. He was on right defense.
Oh, how soon they forget.
I don't know. Was the left defenseman.
Third base.
Sorry. It's been that kind of day.
Yeah.
1-2 the count to Brito. Blevins delivers. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Hey, at least we don't have to see these foil-wrapped uniforms anymore. The Padres will come in here tomorrow.
Yeah, but they've got more waiting for us, because when we get to Phoenix, they'll be wearing those home whites with the fake collars.
Oh, right.
You know,
yeah.
the Sedona red sort of painted on. Never mind. Google it.
We're not.
I'm done describing these unis. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed, strike 3. Blevins punches out Brito. And with 1 out, Tuffy Go-Switch, who's had quite a day, will be the batter.
The Tuffy Go-Switch actually has hit the ball hard 3 times in 4 trips up. Has a triple and a home run to show for it. His first triple ever in the big leagues. His second home run of the year. This is actually James Benjamin Go-Switch, but Tuffy Go-Switch sounds a lot cooler.
It's fun to say. Try it sometime. First pitch. Taken for a called strike, 0-1. A change up from Blevins.
Yeah, Socrates Brito and Tuffy Go-Switch back to back. Doesn't get much better than that.
0-1 the count. Now the pitch. Swinging a chopper foul up the third base line, 0-2. You know, I would have loved to hear handle those names. My former New York Rangers broadcast partner is Sal Messina.
You think you would have gotten him right on the first shot out of the box?
I don't know.
Could he mangle a name here and there?
Between the two of us, we could make them impossible to distinguish from each other. 0-2. Now the pitch. Swinging a high pop-up down the third base line, hooking into foul ground. T.J. Rivera over with Reynolds, but it falls in the seats out of play. It's 0-2. I think my favorite Sal line, and I didn't even broadcast this game. It's after I had left the Rangers. But I got a call the next morning with a producer armed with tape saying, "Stop what you're doing. Don't take another bite of your Fruit Loops. Just listen to this." And it was Sal reading a promo for a soccer game that was going to be on the particular network, which was broadcasting those games. And I will try to paraphrase in just a moment after Blevins gets through with his 0-2 pitch to Go-Switch. It's on the way. And a fastball inside, 1-2. I think the name of the soccer team at the time was the Power. And they were going to play Yeah, it was women's soccer, and they were going to play whatever the team down in Washington, D.C. were called. 1-2, the count to go switch. I talk Canadian there. The pitch, a breaking ball, hit in the air to right field, moving over Kelly. He's under it, and he makes the catch 2 men away. But anyway, Sal starts reading this promo, and he says, make sure to watch the New York Power when they play the Miami Ham. Well, you see, Mia Hamm was playing for the D.C. team. And he just read MIA Ham and figured that was an abbreviation for Miami. And Sal, like me, wasn't watching a whole lot of women's soccer at the time. So he said,
who's their big rival, the Baltimore Bologna?
Well, here's Phil Gosselin, right-hand batter, up for the first time. Takes low, ball one. As you might have imagined, the Diamondbacks lead 9-0 with 2 out, nobody on here in the top of the ninth. So, yeah, Socrates Brito, Tuffy Go Switch, and the Miami Ham. Get your tickets now. The 1-0 rolled to short. Reynolds, that's an easy one, has it. Throws to first in time. Side retired. Diamondbacks go in order. Middle of the ninth inning.
Song as well. I was in Moving Out, right? Anthony's song. There's a Mama Leone's reference in there.
Yeah, there was another song. My mind is a little cluttered now doing this game, but the song that he sings about scenes from an Italian restaurant, I think, was about Cristiano's in Syosset, which is a now closed restaurant.
Bottle of red, bottle of white. Yeah.
That's it.
And the Miami Ham.
Alejandro De Aza leads off. First ball swinging, lines one into right field, a base hit. So Leon, on the first pitch he throws, sees De Aza rope a single to right. And the Mets trailing 9-0. Have to start somewhere, I guess, if they're going to make some history today as they get the leadoff man on. Leon's 14th appearance, no one-lost record, and an ERA of exactly 9. To what extent has he been cuffed around? Get a load of these numbers. In 13 innings, he's allowed 25 hits, 14 runs, 13 earned. That's a lot. You know what they're hitting against him? .417. So here's T.J. Rivera. Leon delivers way outside with a fastball, ball one.
It's actually, .425 now because the Mets are 1 for 1 against him here. And T.J. Rivera looking for his second big league hit. Singled sharply yesterday. Just ask Michael Bourne.
This might be the guy against whom to do it. The 1-0, swing on a pop-up foul outside first. That'll reach the seats. And the count, a ball and the strike.
Dominic Leone in Seattle in 2014 at a 2.17 ERA was 8-2. The next year, 6.15, 0-4. So that's when he got peddled to Arizona. And it got worse. His ERA last year was 14.73. But we didn't get into too many games.
The 1-0 foul back of the screen. A ball and 2 strikes. That is a direct quote from Jerome Horwitz. Not related to Jay.
Not related to Jay.
Known more popularly as Curly Howard.
He did a shuffle, I believe.
Very popular at Shea Stadium back in the day.
Sure was. I still say that's what you should call that overshift in the infield. You know, there's a left wing lock in hockey. The
curly shuffle.
The Tampa 2 in football.
1-2 on the way. A chopper up the middle. They shuffle along the infield. The second baseman Gosselin fields it, but his throw is too late to get Rivera, who has his second big league hit. And again, you got to start somewhere when you're down 9, and the Mets have first and second, nobody out here in the 9th inning.
Well, it's a good day for history. It's never happened before. The Mets have never had a 10-run 9th inning, but that would be quite the walk-off. And many, many steps to go on this journey. And obviously it wouldn't be Leone still on the mound at that point if the Mets are really going to threaten that.
So here's Wilmer Flores, who's batting in Jay Bruce's old spot, which later was given to Josh Edgin. But Flores trying to figure it out against the righties, against whom he's hit just .204 this year. And the first pitch, way outside, ball one. 91-mile-an-hour changeup, so they say. Behind Flores, James Loney, and then Kelly Johnson. Leone with a 1-0. Swing and a foul back to the screen, 1-1. Leon out of Clemson University, where Mets third base coach Tim Tuffle went. De Aza at second, T.J. Rivera at first. Nobody out here in the last of the ninth. 9-0 Arizona. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss at a slider. And the count 1-2. Boy, that was a fastball swing at an 81-mile-an-hour slider. And Flores was way out in front. As are the Diamondbacks. Pittsburgh leading San Diego 4-0 in the top of the ninth inning. So if these scores hold, Pittsburgh will move in front of the Mets in that wild card race. 1-2 on the way. Breaking ball lifted in the air to right, not deep. Brito settling under it, makes the catch. Socrates not overthinking it. Throws into second, and the runners hold.
That was good.
We'll pause, thankfully, for station ID on the WOR Mets Radio Network.
WOR and WAXQ HD2, New York.
This is Lisa G. in the WOR newsroom. The man who climbed Trump Tower yesterday is facing charges. Details after the game.
Well, you don't need Socrates to hear that piece of news and reply, "You think?" Yes, they're going to bring that nutball up on charges.
Who'd have thought it?
Climbing well, anyway. Here's James Loney, left-hand batter. And the first pitch hit on the ground to the right side. Gosselin's got it. Shovels to second. One. Owings to first. A double play. The ball game is over. And the Arizona Diamondbacks have swept a 3-game series from the New York Mets. In the ninth inning for New York, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 1 man left. The final score, the Arizona Diamondbacks 9 and the New York Mets nothing. Back to talk about it in a moment on the WOR Mets Radio Network, driven by your Tri-Honda dealers.
AutoZone presents Tune-Ups. Restoring lost engine performance and fuel economy isn't rocket science. Thanks to tune-up supplies from AutoZone, it's just common knowledge. Right now, get a $10 AutoZone gift card by mail when you buy 4 or more of any brand of Platinum, Double Platinum, or Iridium spark plugs. So visit your local AutoZone. With over 153 New York metropolitan locations, the right supplies and good advice are just around the corner, so you can fix your car with confidence. Hoods up, America.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions and details in store.
Don't let the warm weather make you forget the brutal